I'm just going to record it and leave early.
Yeah.
I can hear ya.
T-shirt? I want to wear a t-shirt. Yes, I can.
Right now, officials say there's a huge. I can. Okay. Well, Hunter, Adita, this ghost bike on the Congress Avenue Bridge marks the spot where a cyclist was struck and killed just a few months ago by a suspected drunk driver.
Gotcha.
Heard two big explosions, large plume.
Well, good morning. Another muggy start to the day with the chance of drizzle moving in. Plus, I'll let you know how warm our temperatures will climb.
Heard two big explosions, large plumes of dust, smoke, glass. Obviously everybody was going crazy. At first it almost sounded like a cannon blast, but it felt so strong it literally almost blew my hat off.
A nation on high alert as the search for a suspect intensifies. Witnesses recount the moments following the explosions at the Boston Marathon.
And rough seas as another luxury liner serves up less than luxurious conditions to its passengers.
You're watching KITV Morning News.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to KITV Morning News. Thank you for joining us. Today is Tuesday, April 16th. I'm Hunter Ellis.
And I'm Dita Payton. We have your weather and traffic together every 10 minutes for you to help you get out the door this morning. Erica Harpold is checking your drive times with Time Saver Traffic. But first, Storm Tracker meteorologist Allison Miller.
Well, and with some of the clouds that stuck around yesterday, we managed to stay out of the 90s. Looks like we'll do the same today. Still a pretty muggy start to the day, though. 71 degrees at the airport and over at Camp Mabry with upper 60s. Continuing out towards the Hill Country, 70 in Georgetown, 72 down towards San Marcos, 70 out towards Bastrop. Your day shaping up like this. Again, staying in the upper 60s, low 70s through 8 a.m. And then as we head into lunchtime, temperatures heating up back into the lower 80s, almost a repeat of what we saw yesterday. Upper 80s and a little bit more sunshine as we head into the afternoon. And then by tonight, temperatures staying pretty mild through 9 p.m. Muggy conditions with those winds continuing out of the southeast 5 to 10. That's ahead of our next chance for rain. I'll have those details coming up, but we also want to get that first check on traffic. How's it looking, Erica?
It looks okay. Thanks, Allison. Good morning. We're looking live at I-35, a very quiet I-35 near Blackson, 183, 290, that kind of general corridor, northbound and southbound, looking good in both directions. Lots of green right now. There is one report of a wreck off of Highway 183 at Colony Creek Drive and Hunter's Trace. Right now, though, your drive time coming in from the north, from Round Rock, 20 minutes on southbound 35. And then looking at westbound Manor, westbound 290 from Manor, from FM 973 to I-35, only 11 minutes. And then northbound 35 coming in from Buda, a 16-minute drive. I'll have another check of your Time Saver traffic in 10 minutes.
New this morning, overnight earthquakes near Oklahoma City put residents on edge.
The U.S. Geological Survey says the tremors began around 1:45 this morning. The strongest, a 4.3 magnitude quake near Luther, which is roughly 30 miles northeast of Oklahoma City.
All quakes were east or northeast of Oklahoma City within a 30 to 60 mile area. Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office says so far they've received no reports of damage or injuries.
And at least 17 people remain in critical condition this morning following yesterday's explosions at the Boston Marathon.
The two blasts have the country on high alert. As the FBI continues their investigation, here's what we know right now. The death toll stands at 3 people this morning.
And yesterday's attack injured more than 140 people after 2 bombs exploded near the finish line of the Boston Marathon. Now, the 2 blasts occurred just over 4 hours into the race, and they were timed about 15 seconds apart and were roughly 100 yards from each other. And the bombings have officials in other cities around the U.S. and the world tightening their security this morning.
In New York, police have increased patrols in highly visible areas. In Washington, the Secret Service has expanded its security perimeter around the White House.
We do have a plan that we have in place to enhance security around the city. We would do that anytime there's an incident anywhere, nationally or internationally, until we have enough information to feel very comfortable that there's no potential connection here to Washington, D.C. or threat to Washington, D.C.
When President Obama addressed the nation, he vowed to find those responsible for the bombings and bring them to justice.
Now, the president never mentioned the word terrorism in his address, but White House sources tell CBS News that the FBI is treating the investigation as an act of terror. No group has claimed responsibility for the blast.
After the attack, organizers for Austin's marathon started reviewing their own emergency response plans. John Conley, the race director for the Austin Marathon, says the explosions in Boston are a worst nightmare scenario. But Conley says from watching the aftermath, he can tell race organizers in Boston had a plan.
Some of the more obvious things we do are covering garbage cans along our finish line area. We operate a command center out of Austin Travis County EMS's mobile command center. We color code our staff so we can immediately identify who is medical, who is management.
Some of the things they're discussing. Last week's Capital 10K race showed the plan in action when a man suffered from cardiac arrest and first responders were able to get to him quickly. Conley says he plans to talk to Boston officials to learn from their experience.
Now, when breaking news like this happens, people not only turn to their TV for information, but also their smartphones. If you would like to follow what's going on in real time, there's an app that you can download. It's called Cop Radio, and it allows you to hear emergency scanner traffic. Well, Major Nadal Hassan, the accused gunman in the Fort Hood shootings, heads back to court today. His pretrial hearing takes place at 10 o'clock this morning. Now, today, the judge is expected to hear debate over which evidence should be allowed in the case, and they'll also go over potential witness lists. Investigators say Hassan opened fire, killing 13 people and wounding 32 others in 2009.
An Alaskan-based military police officer will spend the next 16 years in prison. He's also being dishonorably discharged. William Millay was convicted of trying to sell secrets to an enemy agent. Military prosecutors say Millay was fed up with the U.S. Army and tried to sell secrets to a person he believed was a Russian agent. That person turned out to be an undercover agent for the FBI.
And back here in Travis County, lawmakers try to free up some money to eliminate backlogs in the system.
They're hoping to make a major dent in unsolved drug and alcohol cases. This morning, KITV's Adam Bennett shows us how much it will cost to tackle that backlog. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning, Dita. Well, we're here on the Congress Avenue Bridge. This is the site of a hit and run where a cyclist was killed by a suspected drunk driver just a few months back. You can see a ghost bike here marks that site. Now, this is one of a number of drug and alcohol related cases in the city and the county, and many of them are unsolved. There's currently a backlog, and now officials are trying to figure out a way to close that gap. So today, Travis County officials will meet to look at one way. They're proposing contracting out the lab work. Now, the cost just over $100,000 to tackle the more than 1,200 pending cases, some as many as 9 months old, many of them blood tests. Now, the contracts with those testing companies, county officials say, are already in place. The problem, according to the county judge, he says they have, quote, zero funding. So he's proposing the county and the city come up with the money and evenly split the cost by the end of this fiscal year. Now, the APD drug lab is actually set to get 3 more people. City Council recently approved that, but the problem is it's supposed to take several months to hire those people and then train them to get them to where they need to be. But the judge says once this backlog is addressed, those 3 people should be able to handle the workload from this point forward. Reporting live in downtown Austin, Adam Bennett, KITV Morning News.
Thank you, Adam. Travis County also contracted out lab work to tackle a backlog in 2007 and again in 2008.
Well, this morning, Governor Perry is calling for change that could lead to lower taxes for some 100,000 businesses here in Texas. It's part of the governor's push for a $1.6 billion tax cut. Now, Perry spoke about the plan yesterday at the Austin Chamber of Commerce, saying it may mean tapping into the state's rainy day fund. And this is a much different stance for the governor, who just a few years back said those reserve funds should not be touched.
Another twist for the embattled scooter store in New Braunfels. KI learns the Central Texas-based store is now filing for bankruptcy protection. The scooter store officially filed Chapter 11 yesterday. The company, which sells power wheelchairs and scooters, recently made major cuts, including cutting its workforce from 2,500 people to just 300. When asked what prompted those changes, the company pointed to changes the healthcare law has made and a government investigation as its reasons for its loss in revenue. Today, a Hiring Our Heroes job fair will be held in Austin.
The U.S. Chamber of Commerce will host the event to help more than 45 employers hire veterans and their spouses. Now, this morning at 10, companies will be on hand at the Millennium Youth Entertainment Complex, ranging from large employers to small local businesses. Walk-ins are allowed, but job seekers must provide proof of military service. The job fair will run until 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Controversial tribute, why one group is outraged over new Memorial Park in East Texas.
And inhale, exhale, repeat. This morning, ways to help you overcome that stress in your life.
And we're looking at our next chance for rain and the possibility for some severe weather. I'll take you through our chances coming up after the break.
5:11 right now, and here's a look at what's trending on Twitter this morning. CBS this morning tweets out suburban apartments searched in Boston Marathon bombings.
And CNN Live tweets out a live feed to Boston's Copley Square one day after the Boston Marathon's bombings. I think we have a picture right there. There it is. One day after those events that took place yesterday at 2:10 yesterday afternoon Eastern Time. And Dita and I have retweeted both of those. You can follow both of us on Twitter. I'm at Hunter Ellis KI and Dita is at Dita Payton.
Weather and time-saver traffic every 10 minutes.
Good morning, 5:12 on this Tuesday, and we're still tracking warm temperatures here across central Texas. Managed to stay out of the 90s yesterday. I think we'll do the same today, but it is going to be on the warmer side over the next few days. We're also looking out for a lot of added moisture. That means the possibility of some clouds, fog, a little bit of patchy drizzle each morning today and tomorrow, and then burning off, of course, by the afternoon. Tracking our next cold front moving in on Thursday, and that'll be our best chance to see some showers here across central Texas. And behind that system, a nice little cool down on Friday with temperatures dropping in to the 60s. For now, though, check this out. We're already in the upper 60s, low 70s in Georgetown, 71 in Manor, 68 over towards Hutto, 69 now. Cedar Park with 68, Dripping Springs, 70 still in Lakeway, 72 down towards San Marcos. Lockhart sitting at 69. And this is how your day is shaping up. Mostly cloudy skies, and again, we'll keep the humidity really in the forecast throughout the day. 80 by lunchtime, still pretty close to 90 as we head into the afternoon. A little bit of a breeze like we saw yesterday out of the south, about 5 to 15 as we head into the afternoon. As far as our clouds and rain go, we'll take you through the next 48 hours. Again, some of that cloud cover burning off. Pretty similar to yesterday, though. Some of those high, thin clouds still around with that sun peeking through. Clouds return on Wednesday, again with that look at possibility for some patchy drizzle in the morning ahead of that next storm system. And then we'll start to put that chance in late on Wednesday, beginning really out towards the hill country. And we'll start the chance for showers in the morning and continuing through the early afternoon. As far as severe weather goes, it looks like most of us will stay to the north and to the east, but there is a chance in Williamson, also Travis County as we head into Thursday. 89 today. We're looking at another round of 70s, pretty muggy as we head into tonight. Rest of that 7-day forecast. Best chance of rain again during the day on Thursday with those winds picking up and the cool down with highs in the 60s on Friday. Then we're back to the 70s. Pretty nice weekend in store for us. And coming up today at 5 o'clock, Chicago, Jordan and I will be here. We have a special on the drought, so we're still taking any of your questions. We've gotten a lot, and I've already made some calls, making sure I know how to answer some of those. Yeah. But we're going to try and answer the lake level questions, drought questions, fire danger questions. So
especially as we go into the heat of the summer.
Yeah, we already got some heat, so nice timing on that.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll have some answers for what to expect coming up this summer.
And people can still email their questions, right?
Yep, we're still taking them.
Okay, great.
All right, lots of questions out there. Time right now to check on traffic with Erica Hartbold.
Thanks, Hunter. Dita Allison taking a live look right now from our TxDOT camera at 183 and 360. Very quiet southbound 183, far off in the distance there on the right side of your screen. Let's take a look at the map. There is that report of that wreck that was off of 183. That update is that it is now clear. So let's head west and check how things are doing at Steiner Ranch Boulevard, 52 miles per hour there at 620 and 50 miles per hour at 2222 and River Place Boulevard. Southbound 360 right now, 13 minutes if you enter at 183 heading down south. Northbound 360 entering at Ben White Boulevard to 2222 will take you 11 minutes. I'll have another check of your time saver traffic in 10 minutes.
Thanks, Erica. Well, we may be talking about the drought here, but some residents of South Dakota are finally waking up to electricity this morning after an ice storm left them in the dark. The National Weather Service says more than 1.5 feet of snow fell, leaving more than 90,000 people without power. Now, most were without service for days.
Branch came down and took down my cable line. So even though the neighborhood was brought back up, some of us were down because our lines were down. And yeah, you felt like you're in Siberia without the TV and knowing what's going on.
Now, Xcel Energy says it restored power to all the homes except those that were damaged by the storm.
A Dallas police officer rushed to the hospital after being shot during a high-speed chase with a murder suspect.
Investigators say the pursuit began after the suspect shot and killed his girlfriend and then their unborn child. After the shooting, the suspect, Tyrone Allen, took police on a chase with speeds topping more than 100 miles per hour. Once Allen was in custody, the police chief confirmed shots had been fired by both Allen and the officers.
Officers then returned fire. The suspect returned to his vehicle and the pursuit continued.
The chase came to an end when Allen jumped from the car, as you see, and ran through the back door of someone's home. People in the surrounding area were ordered to stay indoors, and a nearby elementary school was placed on lockdown. No word yet on what charges he may face. And controversy continues in East Texas this morning over a new war memorial.
The NAACP is upset about the site's dedication to Confederate soldiers. While one group came out to celebrate the park's opening in Palestine, others came out to protest. Both sides say the Confederate flag has very different meanings to them. The Sons of the Confederate Veterans donated the land for the memorial, which was approved by the city. But the NAACP says they plan to not stop fighting until it is taken down.
Well, April is Stress Awareness Month, and experts say too much stress can have a negative effect on your health. The CDC says some of the simple signs to look for include difficulty making decisions, frequent nightmares, or no sleep at all. And they offer these tips to help you relax. Avoid drugs and alcohol, find support, talk to a friend, counselor, clergy, person, or even a doctor, and get out and hang out with your friends. Also, exercise, try to get 6 to 8 hours of sleep each night, eat healthy, and always keep your mind active.
Your heart rate may be able to reveal your life expectancy.
New research shows the higher a person's heart rate while resting, the greater risk of dying. Doctors from Copenhagen followed about 3,000 men over a 16-year period, and the results shows 81 to 90 beats per minute doubles your chances of dying, and higher than 90 will actually triple it.
Getting enough sleep before you get behind the wheel could just save your life. Researchers at the Virginia Tech Transportation Institute found fatigue is a cause in 20% of accidents, more than previous studies have shown. They equipped 100 cars with cameras to monitor drivers. Data collected showed people who drive while tired are 4 times more likely to get in a crash or near a crash.
And a new study finds that even the taste of beer triggers the release of a chemical in the brain that's linked to addiction. Doctors at Indiana University gave 49 men a sports drink and then a small amount of beer, not enough to cause intoxication, and results showed that the alcohol caused a greater chemical release, especially in people with a family history of alcoholism. Researchers say participants also craved more beer after they tasted it. And tonight's primetime lineup here on KI kicks off at 7 o'clock with NCIS. That's followed by NCIS Los Angeles at 8.
At 9 o'clock, you can catch a new episode of Golden Boy, and then we'll have your latest headlines on KITV News at 10.
Well, it's 5:20 right now and on the rise, while you could soon be paying more for home insurance all over the country.
And a pint-sized bandit, the goods cops say this little kid managed to walk away with.
Plus, it's another muggy start to the day with temperatures close to 70 degrees. We could be looking for some patchy drizzle, fog, and haze as you make your way out the door, and another pretty toasty afternoon. That's ahead of our next storm system. We'll check all that. Let's look at traffic right after the break.
weather and time-saver traffic every 10 minutes.
5:22 on this Tuesday. Welcome back to KITV Morning News. You're taking a live look outside and another round of pretty muggy conditions as you head out the door and the humidity lingering throughout the day. What's making it feel a little on the cool side, though, the winds kicking up out of the southeast, now 12 miles an hour in Georgetown, breezy down towards San Marcos as well. But temperatures, as you can see, still holding on to the low 70s from Llano to Georgetown, down towards San Marcos, over to Bastrop LaGrange at 74. 60s now for Lockhart, Marble Falls, up towards Burnett, up towards Cedar Park and Northwest Austin, sitting at 69. Same thing at Round Rock, a little cooler in Pflugerville at 68, but 71. Harris Branch down towards the airport, southeast Austin in the low 70s as well. So again, staying in those upper 60s, low 70s through 8 a.m. As we head into lunchtime, the clouds begin to break, at least those low clouds, but temperatures will be warming to 80 degrees. And then as we head into the afternoon, we're looking for highs in the upper 80s, again leaving some of those thin clouds in the forecast similar to yesterday. It's going to be hot and humid. Not a record high, though. We're looking at 95. That was set back in 2006. And again, I think we'll stay out of the low 90s. Big changes over the next 4 days. That chance of rain moves in with the best chance on Thursday. And then we do get a nice little cool down, a little bit of relief from the heat temporarily, with our high at 68 degrees on Friday. We're going to track more of those storms coming up. But it's 5:24. I want to get that check on traffic. How are the roads looking?
It's good. It's very quiet here on Ben White Boulevard. Looking live there from our TxDOT camera located at Manchac. Good news is no major wrecks or closures to report. So let's get your drive times, taking a look at how things are shaping up throughout the entire Austin area. Lots of green coming in from Round Rock, 20 minutes from Sam Bass to 6th Street. Southbound Mopac right now, if you're entering at the 45 toll heading to 5th, it'll take you 17 minutes. Southbound 183 from Cedar Park to Mopac, only 9 minutes. And then southbound 360 entering there around 183 heading down to Walsh Charlton, about 13 minutes. I'll have another check of your time saver traffic in 10 minutes.
For most people, a home is the most expensive thing they will ever own.
And the cost to insure that home just keeps going up. The average cost of homeowners insurance is now $1,000 a year, and that's up 69% over the past decade. Severe storms are partially to blame for higher bills and higher deductibles. The damage leads insurance companies to make changes to their policies.
So here's some things that you need to keep in mind when getting a home insurance plan. Know how much your home is worth, know exactly what you're buying and what it covers, and don't buy solely on a quote. The lowest price policies may end up hurting you later on. Also ask for discounts for anything you've done to reduce your risk. If you're looking to adopt a dog, look no further than Balloons Over Horseshoe Bay. The resort is helping the Highland Lakes SPCA find forever homes during its 3-day hot air balloon festival, which is going on this weekend. This yellow lab mix named Dean is just one of the dogs that you can meet at the festival this weekend. Dean is 6 months old and was brought in as a stray.
Our organization is a no-kill nonprofit, so once they come to us, we keep them and they're safe, and we find good homes for them.
Balloons Over Horseshoe Bay also features a dog walk. Registration is $10. The festival runs from Friday through Sunday, with Saturday open to the public. Tickets are $15. And our own Jordan Steele will join us live from there all morning long Friday to give you a sneak peek of the festival. Pretty cool.
Rough job for Jordan right there. And I got to tell you, Dean was the best dog. Oh,
really
my God.
good dog.
He will go to a great home because he's lovable.
I know. He fell in love with Hunter. I was kind of hoping this one was going to take him home.
Oh, I know. I think it's hey, I'm home. Look what I found.
Yeah, look, honey. I got a dog.
Would go over so well. Well, there's no denying that little kids can steal your heart, but this one actually steals your mail.
Listen to this story. Fed up with lost packages, some Seattle residents set up surveillance cameras by their front door, and they just couldn't believe what they saw. Take a look at this. Up walks a toddler, and away goes a box. The tiny thief wasn't acting alone either.
Yeah, police say a man, most likely his father, parks the stroller in front of the house and then coaxes the toddler into grabbing the box, and then the two make off with it. Now, the homeowners posted this footage on YouTube describing the incident, and it turns out that the bandits actually just walked away with a box of dog vitamins there.
Oh, good for them. 527, dealing with the drought. What a Central Texas city is doing to try and help their residents conserve more water.
An act of terrorism, what investigators are now saying about the Boston Marathon bombings.
Plus, we'll have a check of your time saver drive times and your weather, as we always do every 10 minutes, with Erica Harfold and meteorologist Allison Miller.
You're watching KITV Morning News.
The death toll rises. The latest numbers in the Boston Marathon bombings, and a look at where the FBI investigation stands.
And a U.S. helicopter crashes overnight. A look at how the crew is doing and the high-tension area where it happened.
And rethinking the system, what state lawmakers want to do to try and put an end to wrongful convictions in Texas. Good morning. Welcome to KITV Morning News. I'm Dita Payton.
And I'm Hunter Ellis. Another warm day today, but change is coming. We do have your weather and traffic together every 10 minutes. Erica Harpold is checking your morning drive times with Time Saver Traffic. But first, Storm Tracker meteorologist Allison Miller with today's forecast.
Yet another day well above average for this time of year, both for our overnight lows and our afternoon highs. In fact, right now we're still near 70 in most locations, upper 60s for Leander, Cedar Park. Round Rock, Hutto at 68, 71 for Manor. Same thing out towards Lakeway, 70, 71 in the Austin area. Red Rock sitting at 70, Bastrop in the 70s, down toward Maxwell, Kyle, and San Marcos. We'll keep it in those 70s, upper 60s through 8 a.m. By lunchtime, most of those low clouds begin to break, but we'll still keep them mostly cloudy. Temperatures hitting 80 degrees. That should be where afternoon highs are, but we'll keep climbing closer to 90 by the afternoon. Hot and humid conditions, almost a repeat of what we saw yesterday. Some of those winds we're keeping in the forecast out of the southeast, about 8 to 15. And then we are looking at big changes. We'll talk about those in your 7-day forecast in 10 minutes, but we want to get that check on traffic. How's it looking now?
It's not bad. Right now we're looking live at 183 near Pavilion. Very quiet southbound, and this is quite the area that gets bottlenecked during rush hour. So now, no rush hour, no traffic to report in that area. There is a stalled vehicle northbound Mopac right at 360, though northbound drive time, it's not bad from Slaughter to 5th, only 8 minutes. And then southbound Mopac from 45 to 5th Street, a 17-minute drive. I'll have another check of your Time Saver Traffic coming up in just 10 minutes.
Breaking news out of Boston as we take a live look at Copley Square this morning. This is where the Boston Marathon bombings took place yesterday as runners crossed the finish line.
And this morning, WBZ, the CBS station, reports that police are searching an apartment in the Boston suburb right now. Authorities there confirm that the search is part of the investigation into the explosions near the finish line of the Boston Marathon. And those explosions killed at least 3 people and more than 140 people are injured.
Following those 2 blasts this morning, the White House is treating this attack as an act of terrorism. CBS's Susan McGinnis is in Boston with the latest.
A pair of explosions at the finish line of the Boston Marathon. The bloody scene shocked many here in Boston and around the world.
You hear about things in other countries and other places, and I guess in the United States we have to be aware that perhaps more of that will be coming our way.
The investigation started almost immediately. Officials cordoned off several blocks around the bomb site in order to allow bomb squad detectives to sweep the area for more explosive devices. Early Tuesday morning, we learned federal and local authorities are searching an apartment of someone they're calling a person of interest in the Boston suburb of Revere.
This is a very thorough and active and fluid ongoing investigation.
Police searched surveillance cameras in the area, and CBS has learned that at least one piece of video shows a man carrying 2 backpacks who was in the area before the blast.
They're trying to sweep the other cameras in the area. That shot is only from the back. They want to see who that person is from the front and if he might be relevant.
President Obama vowed to find those responsible for the bombings.
Any responsible individuals, any responsible groups will feel the full weight of justice.
White House officials say they are treating the bombings as an act of terrorism. Susan McGinnis, CBS News, Boston.
At least 17 people are still in critical condition this morning, and more than 140 people still recovering from those injuries.
And this is one of the images from the marathon that has many people talking this morning. It shows a 78-year-old man on the ground after being knocked down from the blast just feet from the finish line. Unfortunately, this veteran runner is okay, and he later described what that moment was like.
I was just approaching the last straightaway to the finish line, and I'd had a good day, and I was feeling really good. And I got down within about 15 feet of the finishing apron, and this tremendous explosion sounded like a bomb went off right next to me, and shock waves just hit my whole body, and my legs just started jittering around.
Now, the man goes on to say in those moments of confusion, a race volunteer actually came over to him, helped him up so he could cross the finish line.
A U.S. military helicopter goes down near the North Korean border. A spokesman for United States Forces Korea says the crash happened during a joint drill. All 16 people on board escaped, but 3 were taken to a nearby hospital for further evaluation. An investigation is underway to determine the exact cause of that crash. No more warnings. That's the newest threat from North Korea. North Korean news agency KCNA issued a statement saying, quote, "Our retaliatory action will start without any notice from now on." This comes as the country celebrates its founder's birthday. South Korea's defense ministry called its neighbors' threats, quote, regrettable. The Pentagon says it still believes North Korea may be poised for a missile test launch in the coming days.
And Secretary of State John Kerry is back in the U.S. after visiting Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. And when he returned, he made a special stop. Kerry flew to Chicago, where he met with the family of a U.S. service officer killed in a suicide attack in Afghanistan. Annie Smedinghoff, who was 25 years old, was one of 6 Americans killed on April 6th. That attack occurred while they were delivering textbooks to an Afghan school. And plans to unveil a new immigration bill are now on hold following yesterday's deadly bombing in Boston. An outline of the measure shows the bill would put 11 million immigrants on a 13-year path to citizenship. Now, it would cost at least $2,000 plus additional fees, and the process would only begin after more steps are taken to secure the nation's border. The bill, which outlines some of the most dramatic changes to immigration laws in 25 years, is now set to be revealed later this week.
In Houston, an 84-year-old woman faces charges for a murder-for-hire scheme. However, Dorothy Canfield is already locked up on theft charges from a previous conviction. Houston area DA Brett Ligon says Canfield tried to hire a hitman to kill him and a fellow prosecutor. Investigators say she wanted the attacks to mirror the unsolved killings of the Kaufman County District Attorney and his wife. Canfield's new charges include solicitation of capital murder and solicitation to commit aggravated assault on a public servant. At the Capitol today, state lawmakers shine the spotlight on wrongful convictions.
Their goal to ensure that the only people on death row are the ones who truly belong there. And this morning, KITV's Adam Bennett has the changes that they hope to make. Adam?
Hunter, good morning. Well, the case of Michael Morton started here in the Austin area, but of course it's made headlines around the country. 60 Minutes did a piece. Here's a headline here on the New York Times. But now one Texas lawmaker is hoping to prevent future wrongful convictions, also cut down on costly appeals, and make sure that the only people behind bars are the criminals themselves. This morning, the Senate is scheduled to look at Senate Bill 1292. This is from Senator Rodney Ellis of Houston. Now, he would like to see the state require DNA testing of all biological evidence collected in an investigation where the state seeks the death penalty for a capital offense. That's the basis of this bill. Now, under the bill, it would have to happen before the trial, and then the state would have to pick up the tab. Supporters say it would also save the state money in prison and compensation costs. Now, Senator Ellis, the bill's author, is also the one behind the Michael Morton Act. This just passed the Senate here in Texas last week. That expands and clarifies the access that the defense has to the prosecution's files. Reporting live in downtown Austin, Adam Bennett, KITV Morning News.
Thanks, Adam. Now, Attorney General Greg Abbott backs this bill. Abbott says since 1987, 3 capital murder convictions have been overturned because of DNA evidence. Well, the long drought tightens its grip on Central Texas, and now the city of Cedar Park threatens major fines for anyone who uses more than their fair share of water. Like other nearby cities, Cedar Park uses a watering schedule and other restrictions. The people who break the rules can be fined up to $1,000. But the city wants to make sure that residents are doing their part, and that's why they say their new focus is to educate the population.
Drought conditions have become the new normal in Central Texas, and the city of Cedar Park is really working to educate people on landscaping with native and drought-tolerant plants.
Now, the city plans to hold a seminar tomorrow on drought-tolerant plants, as you heard, and irrigation. Well, those dry conditions are affecting all Central Texans. It's a very real problem, and that's why we have our eye on the drought. It's our half-hour special. It airs today at 5 p.m. right here on KITV. 5:40 right now, and close to home, one celebrity's words of encouragement for his hometown after yesterday's bombing in Boston.
And college credit on aisle 3, the major chain offering college courses to their employees.
Plus, it is 5:39, and we're looking at our next chance for rain. Still pretty hot today, but the possibility of severe weather is still there. Coming up after the break, We're going to time out how much rain we could see with this next storm system and who could potentially see that severe weather. We'll also have a look at traffic coming up soon.